On Sunday, more than 100 million people will gather around glowing screens, emotionally invested in the flight path of a football. Entire living rooms will erupt over inches. Strangers will high-five. Someone will cry. Someone will argue about a call that can't be reversed. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, there's another group of people who feel absolutely nothing about it. Not rebellion. Not superiority. Not bitterness. Just neutrality. The Super Bowl lands in their awareness the way competitive hot dog eating or professional cornhole might. It exists. It's large. It's loud. And it doesn't move them at all. What's fascinating isn't that people care. What's fascinating is how strange it feels to admit that you don't. Because in American culture, the Super Bowl isn't just a game. It's a ritual. It's a shared emotional script. It's practically a civic holiday. And when you opt out, intentionally or instinctively, people sometimes react like you've declined an invitation to belong. But here's the psychological truth: caring about sports is not a default human setting. Your brain did not arrive pre-installed with a touchdown reaction. The emotional intensity people experience around the Super Bowl isn't automatic. It's constructed. It's layered. It's driven by identity, stimulation preferences, uncertainty tolerance, social bonding patterns, and in some cases, simple habit. Let's start with the chemistry. When someone's team scores in a high-stakes game, their brain releases dopamine. There's activation in reward pathways similar to what happens when you accomplish something personally meaningful. Except here's the twist: you didn't actually do anything. You sat on a couch. You wore a jersey. You yelled at a screen. But your nervous system interprets the win as a form of shared achievement. Psychologists call this basking in reflected glory. Your identity fuses, even temporarily, with a group. When the group succeeds, you experience a surge of positive emotion. The brain doesn't require direct contribution to feel ownership. It only requires identification. For someone who doesn't care about the Super Bowl, that identification switch simply doesn't flip. It's not defiance. It's not cynicism. It's just that the tribal trigger doesn't land. And tribal identity is powerful. Humans survived because we formed groups and competed with other groups. That wiring still exists. Modern sports are one of the safest ways we reenact ancient in-group versus out-group dynamics. My team. Your team. Our colors. Their colors. Victory. Defeat. To someone deeply invested, the emotional stakes feel real because the belonging feels real. But not everyone experiences belonging through sports. Some people find it in creative communities. In fitness groups. In online forums about mechanical keyboards or film photography or obscure history podcasts. Some people get their sense of connection through intellectual debate, collaborative projects, music scenes, spiritual gatherings. The instinct for community is universal. The expression of it is not. When someone says they don't care about the Super Bowl, what they may really be saying is, "This is not where my tribe lives." Now let's go deeper. There's research in personality psychology about something called optimal stimulation level. It suggests that people differ significantly in how much intensity their nervous system prefers. Some individuals seek high arousal experiences, crowds, noise, dramatic shifts, suspense, emotional spikes. Others function best in lower intensity environments. Their nervous system becomes overstimulated more easily. The Super Bowl is engineered for intensity. 3+ hours of momentum swings. Loud commentary. Flashing lights. Social chatter. Commercial spectacle. Halftime performances. Uncertainty layered on uncertainty. For some brains, this is thrilling. For others, it's exhausting. And exhaustion doesn't feel like fun. If you're someone whose nervous system leans toward lower stimulation, a Super Bowl party may feel less like celebration and more like sensory overload. The constant noise. The overlapping conversations. The pressure to react in real time. The spikes of yelling. It can register as chaotic rather than energizing. About 1 in 5 people are considered highly sensitive in temperament research. That doesn't mean fragile. It means their nervous system processes stimuli more deeply. Loud environments deplete them faster. Emotional intensity hits harder. Ambiguity lingers longer. For them, the Super Bowl isn't neutral. It's draining. Then there's locus of control. This is a psychological concept describing whether someone tends to focus their energy internally, on things they can influence, or externally, on forces outside their control. Watching sports is, fundamentally, investing emotionally in an outcome you cannot affect. You can wear lucky socks. You can scream at the TV. You can perform rituals. But your behavior does not change the scoreboard. For some people, that's the point. The surrender to uncertainty is part of the thrill. For others, it feels fundamentally unsatisfying. Why pour emotional energy into something where your actions have zero impact? If you're wired toward an internal locus of control, you might naturally gravitate toward activities where effort equals outcome. Building something. Learning something. Training for something. Creating something. The Super Bowl can feel like passive emotional gambling. And if your nervous system doesn't enjoy uncertainty, that passivity can become uncomfortable fast. Tolerance for uncertainty varies dramatically across individuals. Some people experience suspense as excitement. Others experience it as stress. A close game with seconds left on the clock might feel electric to one person and unbearable to another. Add to that the fact that the outcome has no direct effect on your life. You will wake up Monday morning unchanged, regardless of who wins. For some, that makes the tension playful. For others, it makes the tension pointless. And then we have overstimulation layered on top of modern life. We already live in a hyper-connected environment. Notifications. News cycles. Work emails. Financial stress. Political conflict. Social comparison. Your nervous system rarely gets a break. The Super Bowl isn't just a football game. It's a media event. It demands attention. It wants you emotionally activated. It competes for your cognitive bandwidth. If you're already tired, already saturated, already craving quiet, the idea of adding 3 hours of amplified emotional energy may feel less like entertainment and more like obligation. Now let's talk about ritual. The Super Bowl has expanded beyond sports into cultural theater. Commercials are analyzed. Halftime shows are dissected. Snacks are themed. There's an expectation of participation. Even if you don't care about football, you're supposed to care about the spectacle. And when you don't, it can feel isolating. You sit in a room where everyone else reacts to moments you don't emotionally register. Laughter erupts at ads you don't find funny. Groans follow plays you didn't understand. You're asked which team you're rooting for and you don't have an answer. There's a subtle pressure to perform interest so you don't disrupt the shared mood. That's not just boredom. That's social dissonance. Humans are deeply attuned to belonging. When a large cultural moment happens and you don't resonate with it, it can feel like standing outside a conversation written in a language you technically understand but don't emotionally speak. But here's something important. Sometimes there isn't a grand psychological explanation. Sometimes you just don't like football. We've developed a habit of pathologizing difference. If you don't care about something culturally dominant, there must be a reason. A personality trait. A trauma. A sensitivity. A theory. Or maybe you just don't enjoy watching competitive sports. The same way some people don't like cilantro. Or horror movies. Or techno music. Or reality television. Taste variance is normal. The expectation that everyone should care might be stranger than not caring. What's especially revealing is how defensive people can become when someone says, "I don't care about the Super Bowl." The reaction often isn't mild. It can feel personal. As if indifference is a criticism. As if opting out is rejecting not just the game but the people who love it. That defensiveness reveals how sports function as identity markers. When something becomes tied to belonging, disagreement can feel like disconnection. If my identity includes being a devoted fan, and you dismiss the thing that unites my community, it may unconsciously feel like you're dismissing me. But indifference is not rejection. You can respect the cultural weight of something without emotionally participating in it. There's also something psychologically healthy about recognizing what doesn't resonate with you. Not forcing interest. Not performing enthusiasm. Not pretending alignment for social comfort. Authenticity sometimes looks like saying, "That's not for me," without hostility. And if you are someone who loves the Super Bowl, that enthusiasm is equally valid. The point isn't to diminish passion. It's to normalize diversity of emotional wiring. We are not meant to experience the world identically. Society functions precisely because of variance. Some people crave high stimulation. Some prefer depth over spectacle. Some bond over teams. Some bond over ideas. Some thrive in crowds. Some restore in quiet. The presence of 115 million people invested in a football game does not require universal participation. It only requires coexistence. If you don't care about the Super Bowl, there may be multiple factors shaping that indifference. Your optimal stimulation level may run lower. Your locus of control may tilt internal. Your uncertainty tolerance may be limited. Your sensory processing may be heightened. Your community may exist elsewhere. Or you may simply find it boring. All of those explanations are legitimate. And if you do care deeply, your nervous system may enjoy emotional spikes. Your sense of identity may be reinforced through group affiliation. You may experience shared ritual as grounding and meaningful. Also legitimate. The psychological insight isn't about picking sides. It's about understanding that difference in emotional response does not imply deficiency. Cultural moments amplify the illusion that we should all react the same way. But humans are not standardized units. We are varied nervous systems navigating shared environments. When you zoom out, the image becomes almost beautiful. A massive stadium roaring in synchronized emotion. Millions at home mirroring that energy. And simultaneously, millions of others reading, hiking, cooking, watching movies, going to bed early, living their Sunday without a flicker of interest. And both groups are perfectly fine. Maybe the most psychologically mature stance is not demanding alignment but allowing variance. You can attend a party and enjoy the snacks without caring about the score. You can skip the event entirely and choose something quieter. You can love the game passionately. You can be indifferent peacefully. Belonging does not require uniformity. The next time someone tells you they don't care about the Super Bowl, instead of reacting with disbelief,